Okay, here is another world famous PowerPoint presentation. Today we will be talking about major and minor chords. What are they? Okay, first of all, just as a reminder, major chords happy, minor chords a little bit sad. Major chords are easy. A chord, by definition, is just playing two or more notes simultaneously at the same time. You can have a chord with two notes in it, but major chords and minor chords are chords that have three notes in them. A major chord, you just go to the major scale of the chord you want, and you play note 1, 3, and 5. That's a major chord. So like for C major, that's the easiest key. Remember, there are no sharps and there are no flats in this key, so it's pretty easy. You've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Remember our pattern? Between 1 and 2 is a whole step. Between 2 and 3 is a whole step. Between 3 and 4 is a half step. That's where the half step is. 3 and 4, right here. And whole step, whole step, whole step. And then 7 and 8, that's where your other half step is. So if you want to construct a C major chord, it's going to be notes 1, 3, and 5. That's how you figure out what notes belong in a major chord. Just as a hint, we see that a C major chord has the note C, E, G. So the C major chord is going to fit in the key of C, which is kind of obvious because the key of C, the first note is number 1. So anyway, 1, 3, 5 are the notes of a major chord. Pretty simple. Minor chords. You just do the same thing, except this time you're going to flat the third note. You're going to take the note in the middle and you're just going to flat it a half a step. So in the key of, if you want to play a C minor chord, you go to the key of C major and you take your 1, flat the third, and your 5. So the notes in the C minor chord are going to be C, E flat, and G. And so you can see that in the key of C, that a C minor chord is not going to fit in the key of C because of this E flat here. Okay? So now we're going to, just for fun, and I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to try to do this quickly because, I know you're working on figuring out major scales on your own, so we shouldn't have to spend too much time on it. So I'm going to just kind of fly through this real quick. I'm going to do 6 chords. Let's just figure out 6 chords. And I've got them listed here. I've got C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and A minor. We already did C, so I went ahead and filled it in our chart right here. C major, the 3 notes played in that chord are C, E, and G. So let's go to D minor and let's check it out. Okay, now we're going to figure out D minor. So the first thing you need to do is write down your eight numbers and let's figure out the scale of D major. So D is going to be our number 1. We're going to go up a whole step to 2. So here's D. That's a whole step to the E. Okay, from 2 to 3 is another whole step to the F sharp. You see what I'm doing? 3 to 4, here's where that half step is. So it's going to go F sharp to G. Then we're going to have another whole step to A. That's where I've got the 5 is number A. The A is number 5. You know what I mean. And between 5 and 6 is another whole step to B. That's why there's a B in number 6. There's a whole step up to 7. Of course, I don't have the black key here, but you can see from B to C is a half step, and then another half step would take me to this C sharp, and that's why I put C sharp here under number 7, and then a half step up to D. And hey, we did it right because we got the same letter, the same note in 1 and number 8. Okay, just as a side note, I know you're saying, well, why didn't you write that as a G flat, this F sharp? You could have written it as G flat, Shannon. Hello. Yeah, I could have, but like I said before, in music, when you're writing out a major scale, they want each letter represented, okay? So if I had put a G flat here, somebody would have been like, well, the F was not represented. So see, that's why I had to write that as an F sharp. So that's why in the key of D, you will hear people say there are two sharps in the key of D, because that's just the nomenclature. That's how musicians like to see it written out. All the letters represented. Okay, we could have written D flat here in number 7, but I wrote it as C sharp so I could have the C representing. Okay, anyway, so for our D minor chord, we're going to go to the 1, we're going to flat the 3rd, and number 5 is A. So we're going to have D, F, A. That's the notes of a D minor chord. So now I'm going to put it in our chart. D, F, A. Okay, D minor are the notes D, F, A. All right, let's rock. Let's go to E minor. Check it. Okay, now we're going to figure out E minor. I'm just going to kind of go through this a little faster. 1 to 2, whole step, E to F sharp. 2 to 3, whole step, F sharp to G. 3 to 4, half step, just right to my A, so that's why A is in number 4. 4 to 5, that's a whole step. That's why I've got a B under number 5. 5 to 6 is a whole step. So I wish I had another black key here, but you can see, whoop, okay, right here, B to C sharp. 6 to 7, that's another whole step, right there. C sharp, D, D sharp. See how I moved there? That's a whole step from this black key to that black key. And then from 7 to 8, D sharp to E. And check it out. We got the E here and the E here. Good. We wrote this with all the letters represented. I've got E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Rock on. Now, we're looking for a minor chord. So we're going to go 1, flat the 3rd, 5. So our notes are going to be E, G, and B. And I'm going to put it in our chart. Check it out. Here we go. E minor is E, G, B. Okay, let's rock on. Let's go on to F major. Okay, we're going to do an F major chord. So I need to figure out the F major scale. And I'm going to use 1, 3, 5 this time. I'm not going to flat that 3rd note because, hey, I'm talking about a major chord now. So F is going to be my number 1. So I'm going to start my finger here. F goes up to G. That's 1 to 2 because that's a whole step. And then G is going to go to A because I need to go another whole step to get to 3. Between 3 and 4, this is where my half step is. That's why, whoop, I'm going right up here to this black key. Okay? So it's going to be B flat. So now I'm going to go back to another whole step. Up to C. Okay? So that's why C is in number 5. And then I'm going to have another whole step up to 6. Well, that's going to be, just pretend right here. That's number 5. And I'm going to go a whole step. Half step to whole step. Okay, C to D. That's a whole step. So that's why D is in number 6. Then I'm going to go another whole step up to 7. Half whole. So D up to E is a whole step. Now here's where my half step is again between 7 and 8. And I've got F in 8, which is good because I wanted 1 and 8 to be the same note. And look, here again, I could have written this as A sharp, but then somebody, some Mozart out there is going to be like, well, that's not proper. You should have this written as B flat because it should be, you know what I'm saying? So if someone's talking about the key of F major, they're going to say, well, it has 1 flat. And this is why, because you want to write it as a B flat instead of A sharp. You want to represent each letter. All right, so the F major chord is going to be 1, 3, 5. F, A, C. Pretty easy. Let's put it in our chart. Here it is, F, A, C. Let's go on to G major. G is number 1. Whole step up to 2 is A. Whole step up to B. 3 is B. So 1, 2, 3. Here's where my half step is. Pretty easy. Whoop! Up to the C. So C is in number 4. I'm going to move it over here now. So this is number 4. We're going to go another whole step up to D, another whole step up to E, that's number 6. Going to go a whole step up to F sharp, see, because we got E, F, F sharp. That's a whole step from E to F sharp. And here we're at 7, so now we've got to go a half step up to 8. We're back to our G. Makes sense. We've got a G in 1 and a G in 8. Again, I wrote this as F sharp because I want to represent every letter. I could have written it as G flat, but it's not really proper. So that's why in the key of G, there's 1 sharp. The key of F has 1 flat. See, if you didn't have a rule like that, everybody would get confused because the key of F has 1 black key and the key of G has 1 black key. So the key of G, we call it a sharp because you want to represent every letter. Okay, I think I've beaten that one into the ground. So anyway, G major, that's going to be 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. Let's put it in our chart. Yep. G, B, D. That was the 1, 3, 5. We didn't have to do anything special. Okay, so let's go to A minor. Alright, so number 1 is A. We're going to go a whole step up to B. Another whole step up to C sharp, which should be right here, but I'm going to move it on over here. So that's number 3. Between 3 and 4 is a half step, so that's why I'm going to move it just up to the D. That's number 4. Whole step up to E. Whole step up to F sharp, that's number 6. Whole step up to G sharp, that's number 7. And then a half step up to A. Okay, we got the same letter. I shouldn't say letter. We got the same note in 1 and 8. And we've represented each letter, so we know that the key of A has 3 sharps in it. And it's because we represented every letter here, and it looks cool. So now, let's take 1. We're looking for A minor, so we're going to flat this third. So flat the third is going to be C, so it's going to be A, C, and E. Let's put it in our chart. A, C, and E. So now I bet you're like, well, golly, Shannon, why in the world did you make us go through 6 chords? I mean, this was really boring. Well, the reason is because I had taught you before that when you're looking at a major key, that 1, 4, and 5 are major chords. Well, check this out. This is the key of C down here, correct? So look at here. 1, 4, and 5 are major chords, right? C major, F major, G major. Well, look, we went ahead and figured out the notes inside of each one of these. Here's number 1, C major, C, E, G. Hey, C, E, G, that fits in the key of C. F major, what are the notes in the F major chord? They are F, A, C. And look, they fit in the key of C. And G major is G, B, D. That's the notes in the chord of G major. And they also fit in the key of C. So I also told you before that 2, 3, and 6 are minor chords. So let's check out number 2, D minor, D, F, A. Well, check that out. 3, E minor, E, G, B. Oh my goodness, it works. It fits in there. And number 6, A minor, A, C, E, A, C, E. Hey, all these chords fit into the key of C. This was kind of just an exercise, 1, to teach you what a major chord and a minor chord really are. And 2, to kind of explain what I had just kind of threw out there before about 1, 4, 5. And 2, 3, 6. I kind of wanted to really explain it so you could see why it works. And this is called, when you take a major scale and you build out what kind of chords fit in that major scale, that's called harmonizing the scale. You might hear people say that. In other words, we can keep on adding notes to some of these chords and see if they fit in here. And I'm going to try to do that with you later. The next chord we'll talk about are 7 chords. There are major 7 chords and dominant 7 chords. And you have to make sure they fit in the key too. So, but right now we're just talking about triads. Triads are chords with 3 notes in them. So, this will probably be my next topic. 7th chords. Major, dominant, minor chords, and what they go into.